The Sorry for the delay. Hi, folks. Okay, we're having quite a bit of technical difficulties here. I think we're good to go. Hello, I'm Stephen Aquario, your Executive Director of the State Association of Counties. I apologize about the delay in getting this launched today. It's a very important subject matter. I really want to thank you, our members, for taking time for joining this program. Welcome to today's webinar, Power in Numbers, Leveraging Public Promise Procurement, Unlocking United Rentals and Savings for New York counties. Look, when the association sponsors programs and generates administrative fees, all the work that we do, everything that we do for you and with you benefits you. And it's just an absolute pleasure and privilege to work with the National Association of Counties in their Public Promise Procurement Program, and of course, our support of that. All across New York, county leaders are facing unprecedented fiscal pressure, and who knows what will come down from Washington and the latest activities coming from some legislation, but from rising construction costs at the local level to tighter capital equipment budgets and tough labor markets, we need all the help we can. So today we're going to learn how NACo's Public Promise Procurement Program, boy, that is a mouthful, and in particular, United Rentals and what they have negotiated for us on your behalf, on our behalf. I just can't thank NACo enough. And really, to get this up and running right now in this session, I really want you to listen to what Kathy and Anthony are going to say, and if we are able to get Josh Higgins on the line here as well from United Rental, this is going to really be worth your time. We understand that most of you are already using United Rentals. This program here should really save you a lot of money. We're getting a lot of positive feedback across the country with this program. Very excited to introduce this particular program and many others from NACo over the coming months. So let me first stop and introduce Kathy Muse, and then I'll introduce Anthony Chapman, both from NACo's Public Promise Procurement Program. Kathy.
Well, hi. Thank you so much, Steve. I'm just delighted to be here this afternoon, and I do appreciate all of you for joining. I'm first going to give a quick overview of Public Promise Procurement. I thought Steve did a great job, but I'm going to whiz through it, tell you a little bit about what we're about, who we are, and how we work. So as in all things NACo, we are led by an advisory committee made up of member counties and other public jurisdictions that advise us on the products and services that we should bring to bid and to this program. And they also, these leaders, step up and serve as lead public agencies to conduct these solicitations. They also serve as either subject matter experts or procurement expert evaluators on the responses to these public bids. So next slide, please. So this committee helps us in our work, and how we connect with NISAC and NACo Edge and NACo, I want to go through that really quick. So you all are very familiar with NACo and with NISAC. So in the middle of those two things that you see on your screen is NACo Edge, and we are NACo's business solutions side. And what we do is listen to our membership and then bring value-added solutions to the membership. And that's what Public Promise Procurement is. Next step. So we've learned a lot about the procurement challenges in New York, and back on the slide that showed our Procurement Advisory Committee, I should have pointed out that Karen Storm, the former Chief Procurement Officer in Albany County, serves on our advisory committee, and her presence there really helped us to shape this program and make sure that it was positioned well for counties in New York. So counties in New York have long had the authority to piggyback on contracts. The General Municipal Law 103 was amended in 2013, I think, 2012, to add Section 16. And this allows the use of contracts by other jurisdictions, whether they were led by another jurisdiction or your jurisdiction leads a contract that others can join. In order to do that in New York, a local jurisdiction can provide any IFB that was issued, but if it was a best value procurement and RFP process, that jurisdiction needs to have passed an ordinance allowing them to use best value procurement practices. And most jurisdictions in New York have done that. Next slide, please. So I think Steve handled the NACo difference really well. We're partnered with NISAC, and the reason that we bring these programs to you is because we are a trusted partner in NACo and in NISAC. These are vetted programs. We would not bring them forth if they were not something that the membership wanted and needed. And then the big difference that it makes is that the program completely supports the work that both NACo and NISAC do on your behalf. There's no private investment in this program, and so the program is circular, if you will. It serves you in your procurement needs, and any revenue that's generated from the program goes right back to serve you through the advocacy and other services that NACo and NISAC provide to you. The contracts that we set up are bid by a lead public agency, so they are completely transparent. There is that public procurement process with the sunshine shining down on it completely and openly. These contracts are advertised both locally and also all across the United States. So they're advertised in every state that requires that an advertisement be placed, as well as in the USA Today marketplace, and then on bid boards throughout the country. They include all of the federal terms and conditions that would be required for federal funds usage, and they have very long runways in periods of performance, and they also have very broad and deep scopes of work. So these contracts are well positioned to help you both with everyday purchases as well as with complex projects. Next slide, please. Right now we have 4 contracts. I'm going to mention all 4 of them, although we're going to zero in on United Rentals today. We have a contract with KONE, which is People Moving Solutions, elevators, escalators, walkways, and lifts. Everything from your monthly maintenance and needed repairs to new installation and renovations. Safeware is a preeminent public safety supplier, and that contract has a vast array of products and services across many, many categories that can support both public safety, community safety, workplace safety, as well as emergency preparedness and response and resilience. And then on the far right, you'll see WBCP. This is a contract for recruiting and staffing solutions. So this is to help public agencies fill key positions, as well as develop recruitment strategies and other HR consulting, like civil service reform and other things that your HR department might be interested in doing to both retain and attract new talent. So lastly, you see there, the third one is United Rentals. We're going to zero in on that contract today. That is for all things rental, everything from a piece of earth moving equipment to tools on your job site is available through this contract. And I'll stop there and let that speak for itself when we get to it. Next slide, please. We also have a lot of work in progress. I'm going to whiz through these because they're just almost a teaser to keep you coming back to our website and looking for these in the future. We're currently working with Maricopa County on document management services, so everything from involved in the life cycle of your written and digital documents. We're working with Broome County, New York on electric vehicle charging equipment. Both of these proposals, these solicitations are in the evaluation stage. And we're also working with Miami-Dade County on pharmacy benefits management program for self-insured counties, and that also is in the evaluation process. The next 5 bids or projects are underway, but not yet issued. We're working with Fairfax County, Virginia on P-card and payables solutions, as well as, you can move to the next slide, as well as on armed and unarmed security guard services. And then you can see we're also working with Broome County on 2 additional solicitations, electric vehicles and liquidity and treasury analysis, which is to help public agencies manage their cash spend and create new revenue from existing money. I think it's a very cool project. And then we're also working with the city of Baltimore, Maryland on a furniture contract, both case goods and systems furniture. So be on the lookout for these in the future. They'll be updated on our webpage, and we'll also be keeping NACo aware of everything that's happening with these. Next slide, please. Now, I wanted to show you our website. Just take a quick look at this. So when this webinar is over and you go rushing to the website to sign up, it'll look familiar to you. You can see that in the green band across the top, you can gain access to our contracts and current solicitations, as well as find out information about us and frequently asked questions. The most important thing there would be the contracts, solicitation pays, and also you see a large green button that says Discover More. Next slide, please. When you click on the contracts page, you'll see this listing of our existing contracts. If you click on any one of those, you'll be able to see the solicitation documents, an executive summary, the existing contract documents and any amendments that have been made to it, as well as links to that supplier's page. Next slide, please. And this is an example of what you see. This is the United Rentals page. If you click on that website, you'll see this page. And from there, you can link to United Rentals site where they have the detailed pricing and other information about their company and the contract. Or you can stay right on the PPP website and look at those documents, download them for your review and consideration. And from our website, you can also click on the register button. And it's a very simple process where you enter essentially your business card information and your tax ID number, and then you become a Public Promise Procurement registered user. So I'm going to stop here and let the United Rentals contract speak for itself. So I'd like to turn it over now to my colleague, Anthony Chapman.
Thank you, Kathy. Much appreciated. Great job as usual. And thanks to Steve and Mark and Juanita, Jeanette, the entire NYSAC team and the NYSAC membership. Thank you for having us today. And we really appreciate the close working relationship we have with NYSAC. And it certainly gives me great pleasure to introduce United Rentals. United Rentals is the single awardee for NACo's Public Promise Procurement's rental, lease, and purchase of equipment contract. This contract encompasses associated services and support services. Lead public agency for this contract is Maricopa, Arizona, as Kathy alluded to earlier. United Rentals provides a wide range of industrial, commercial, and construction rental solutions that include everything from fleet and tool management to on-site rapid response services. United Rentals combines safety, equipment, expertise, and data to help your team get the job done. With us today from United Rentals is Josh Higgins. And I'd like to go ahead and give you a little bio on Josh. With over 15 years of experience, Josh specializes in providing solutions for SLED government agencies and their fleet needs through relationships, education, purchasing, cooperatives, and solutions. As a member of NIGP Business Council, he is a holder of a Master Supplier Designation certificate from NIGP, and he is dedicated to delivering value and excellence in every relationship. So with that, Josh, welcome. Thank you for being here with us today. I know you're the government account manager for the Northwest area, which is a little outside of New York, but that's okay. We're happy to have you. Thank you.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys. Sorry I had a little bit of technical difficulties getting on. So I wanted to kind of start the conversation. When we put together this presentation, one thing we've noticed that's evolved over the years is, when I first started 15 years ago, it really seemed as if you had the vendor on one side of the table and the agency on the other side of the table. And, we were just trying to hash something out and get the best of each other. That's really evolved. I do give a lot of credit to cooperatives and the good people that are working at cooperatives. With COVID, with tariffs, with all the stuff we've had that have caused huge changes for us in our environment and our space. Now more than ever, we're really looking for strategic partnerships. We understand that we can't be all things to all people. We understand that there's times when you guys do need to bid out projects and do need to bid out work. What we're hoping to do here is provide something that kind of levels the playing field a little bit, and gives you guys a lot of stuff on paper that really helps you guys get the jobs you need done for the different departments and your guys' customers throughout the agency. So as we said, our contract is with Maricopa County. We won it back in August of 2024. The first term of the contract is through 2029 with option renewals through 2034. I'm not going to go through and read everything, but I did put the website on this slide where you can go and find our contract, take a look. All of our pricing is posted on there. We do like to let everybody know that on these cooperatives, it is a national pricing. So we have to take pretty much every single scenario we could think of when we're putting that together, bad and good and everything, and create those prices. We can develop pricing programs and structures that are more localized. They are not to exceed prices. So we do have the ability to do that. If it doesn't make sense in your market to send something out at this price, we can talk and negotiate something if we do need to. Can I get the next slide, please? With that being said, wanted to tell you guys a little bit about us in New York specifically. United Rentals is the largest equipment rental company in the space in the world. Totally, we have about $21 billion in fleet. We have over 28,000 employees across the land, but we like to take a look at it from the state of New York. Even though we are a national company, our branch managers at these local stores, they really drive what we're doing. They're the ones, that have to cash the checks my mouth writes. So they're the ones that got to get you the fleet and do all that stuff. So we try to create contracts and programs that they get behind and they'll stand behind. With that being said, we employ 638 people in the state of New York, as opposed to that entire region, which is 856. So the bulk of our stores, which we have 30 locations in New York, the bulk of our stores are at that region are located in New York. We move fleet all over the place. So we do have access in New York to that entire $21 billion that our company has. Locally there in fleet, we have about $500 million, 17,000 plus units. And then there's some other information that we have there, what investments we're making in communities, what we pay for sales tax. One of the highlights and something that we're really proud of is our diversity spend. We were one of the first in the space to really track that. And in the state of New York, in 2023, because our 2024 numbers quite haven't posted yet, we spent almost $12 million, with minorities, small, women-owned, disabled vet, 8A, Hub Zone. We spent almost $12 million with them for services and stuff like that within our company. Next slide, please. So what does the supplier bring to the table? That's kind of the way we did this. I mentioned earlier strategic partnerships, and this is Probably one of the biggest and the most obvious thing that a supplier can bring to the table is industry-specific expertise. And this is really where our industry has grown as a whole and our company. I can only speak for our company, but we have made a lot of investments and purchased a lot of companies over the last decade, and it's really grown our space and our industry, and that leads to a higher availability in things for you guys. Everybody knows us for general rentals. That's man lifts, forklifts, earth moving, stuff like that. But we have grown and kind of separated stuff out. So I've put our different divisions that we have throughout the company. We have now a tool solutions branch. This is like impact wrenches, small tools, stuff like that that would probably be used in a shop, a fleet shop or something like that, where they're fixing equipment. We have power and HVAC. So not only do we do the generators now, the big 1 megs down to a 6 kW generator, but we also do climate control. So heat, cooling. If you guys do have a building or a facility where the heat goes out in the winter, that's something we can assist with and get you guys set up with temporary heating. Next slide, please. All right. We have trench safety. This is this was the first division within our company that we did where there's actually engineered solutions. This is more for like utilities and things like that, where they're digging trenches and laying water lines, sewer line, things of that nature. But we do have the trench plates now and the boxes and everything like that that's designed for specific projects. We also have standard things that you could use, but that's really exciting, and we're seeing a lot of growth with that. We also have fluid solutions. This is Baker tanks, sewer bypass, stuff of that nature, filters, pots, stuff like that. Reliable on-site service. This is what we call our porta potty division. They don't like it when I say porta potties. They like us to call them plastics. But we actually have regular porta potties, which you see, and then we also have the trailer mounted ones, the nicer ones with the showers and fencing that goes along with that. Can I get the next slide, please? One of the newer ones to us is mobile storage. In this space, we also have office space. So temporary office space, modular type buildings and things like that we have shoved under this. We've also put in security. So we do have turnstiles. If you guys have a plant or something like that, we do have a whole security outfit that goes along with that that we can supply for you. Also, we can put our consumable stuff for sale in there, and it's pretty slick. It just recognizes your face, or you could do it on a card where you walk in, grab things off the shelf, and it'll actually create an invoice to you guys or send it wherever it needs to go and who purchased it. Our matting, we don't have timber mats on contract yet. That's coming here in the next year, but that's another engineered solution. We do have our composite mats and our crane matting and stuff like that. All of that's available right now. Our timber mats, we're trying to figure out, because we just purchased a very large matting company. We're trying to figure out how we're going to put our engineering into these cooperatives. And then flooring solutions as well. This is also new. So the cleaning and maintenance of, like convention hall floors, schools, things of that nature. We do leasing on that side, lease to own options on that side, and selling it as well. Next slide, please. We also have trucks. We opened a truck division, and this one's a little near and dear to my heart. I've been working in this industry for 15 years, and I've never been able to rent a bucket truck with consistency. Well, now we have a whole division that's catered to utility trucks. We carry 35-foot bucket trucks, insulated, non-insulated, all the way up to 100 plus. We also carry digger derricks and stuff like that now for Department of Transportation, if they're laying cable or doing anything to that effect. We also have passenger vans, and then just your standard F-150s. We do have a full line of EV vehicles. We found that a lot of agencies, they're trying to test their infrastructure and see if they, can actually support an electric vehicle program. That it's getting a lot of hit. We're running quite a bit of Mavericks and stuff like that to them, the smaller trucks. So next slide, please. Now, this is also something that we've kicked around as an industry back and forth for a long time, but we've actually just made a department for it. It's totally a separate thing, but customer-owned equipment repair and maintenance. So we can do on-demand services. So if something is broken down and your fleet mechanics can't get to it, we're another source there. That is available in the contract. We can also just do your scheduled maintenances. So, ANSI inspections, things of that nature. And then we can also take broken stuff into the shop and do a deeper dive and do some, more kind of heavy repairs. But all of this is available through our contract. Next slide, please. We also do equipment training and certification. This really expanded during COVID. We train and certify, we give out OSHA cards and everything on every piece of equipment that we carry. It is in our contract. We can do it on site. We can do it computer training. We could come to you. You could come to us. We could do a 50-50. We could really cater the programs to how you guys want them. There is pricing and everything available. Everything we do, there's a link to that website at United Academy that's in there. But this has been a huge burden, I know, for some of the smaller agencies out there that are having to subcontract the training and stuff like that out. Or when they lose an employee who's the trainer, they kind of got to start over and all of that stuff. So this is available through the contract as well. Next slide. And then finally, new and used equipment sales as far as a product. I put best practices up here because this is kind of a shift a little bit. What we've been doing a lot of, because we do sell equipment, we do rent it, we're on both sides of the coin here. What we've found, especially as of late, when we go in and ask a fleet manager, how do you decide when you're going to rent or own a piece of equipment? When you're going to buy new or when you're going to buy used? A lot of the times the answer we always get is, well, that's just how we've always done it. And there's not really a big deep dive into the cost savings or why they're actually purchasing something. With the help of the NIGP Business Council, we've actually put together a program, and we're calling it more of a discussion, but it gives you tools. It gives your fleet managers some tools on how to calculate the costs and how to see things like that and take a look at it and kind of do a deeper dive on their processes on when they're deciding when to rent or when they're deciding to own. So that analysis is absolutely free of charge. We do kind of consider that part of the strategic partnership where we can, really get in there and, help you guys manage some of those costs. It all starts with aligning your goals and seeing what your guys' goals are with fleet, and then us trying to do what we can to help you guys hit those goals. So those are all the products that are available. We have Total Control. This is a total fleet management system. This comes free as well with all rental items. Not only can you track it through GPS and all that good jazz, but it also generates reports, usage reports. You can also drill in and manage shop and labor and time and stuff like that through the program. If you guys do want to use it on your own equipment, that's where a cost would be associated with it to install the units and all that stuff. But we could always discuss that if you guys do have any questions. And the last slide I have here, it's a video. We had a little success story out in LA County. It kind of takes everything I've been talking about and rolls it all up into one, and you get to see it from the customer perspective and our local people's perspective. So feel free to hit play.
I'm not hearing it.
Can anybody hear that, or is it just me? Certainly
I can,
nice. Certainly a nice video, Josh.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not hearing it
I
either.
can.
So
All right.
basically, I can kind of give it to you in a nutshell. We have the director of the LA County Fairplex out there, and what we kind of did for them is uh, they have a period of time for about a month where they gear up and they put anywhere from 500 to 1,000 pieces of equipment on rent. In that, they're running concerts and all this other, and they're running the rides and all that. They have all this stuff going. It's a very high pressure environment. And pretty much for every one of those segments, they used to have a dozen or so vendors that they would have to call when they'd have emergencies, and it was very hard for them to keep track. What we did is we pulled in all these different divisions that we talked of today, and we really sat down and got kind of a one point of contact who was working with all of them, introduced everybody, put everybody on the same page, and it really streamlined their process. And it took, the amount of labor they were doing on the phone just trying to coordinate this thing. Really, in an essence, they kind of outsourced it to us, and they made one phone call, said what they need, and then we did all of our internal calling and made sure they had it. They ended up, on average, having about 500 or so pieces of equipment on rent: generators, porta potties, office buildings, and then they managed it through the total control system. So it's a great video. It is on our website. If you guys do want to see it, we can always get a copy of it to you. But that's all I have. Do you guys have any questions or concerns or?
Okay, terrific. Let me just thank our speakers. Josh Higgins, again, the government account manager for United Rentals, has over a decade of experience providing rentals to state and local governments for fleet needs and other needs for county governments. He has a master supplier designation certificate. Uh, Great job. We're very grateful to have you in the state, Josh, serving the people of New York. I want to thank Kathy Muse. Kathy is a longtime Chief Procurement Officer for Fairfax County, one of the largest counties in the country, and certainly in Virginia, where she served for many years as the Chief Procurement Officer, and then helped to advise and shape NACo's Public Promise Procurement Program as a volunteer, and now actually works with us at NACo Edge. So grateful to you, Kathy. And of course, Anthony Chapman, also joining NACo a few years ago, working in the private industry and several decades in public sector procurement. Anthony manages large national government accounts, and we're very grateful that he is part of the NACo Edge team as well. So that was our panel. That this is one of our solutions. As Kathy mentioned, we have several other products, especially that Safeware contract. I really think counties should really pay attention to all things public safety on that Safeware contract. But again, as Kathy mentioned, today is about United Rentals. Let's see if we can't take questions. If folks can submit them into the chat line here. We have a couple that have come in. It might be a good time just to start asking some questions that have come in. Again, you could submit them into your chat line there. One of the questions that came in, I guess to Kathy or to Josh, is if a county is using United Rentals right now, how can they cross-check to see the value of the NACo pricing versus a pricing that they may be operating on right now currently?
Well, what we would do is start. I'm sorry, Kathy, I didn't mean to interrupt. If you're, what we would do is
Perfect.
start. There's a lady named Bain McDowell. Um, she actually covers your guys' neck of the woods. She does what I do. We would start the conversation there, and get one of our local guys in and see kind of what your guys' goal with this pricing is, and what you guys want to see and what you guys want to look at. If it's general rental stuff, if you're looking at generators, and we'd pull in the right division, and we could take a look at your current contract, and we could actually do a cost comparison for you guys, and then give you guys all the documentation, and at that point you guys can dig through it and see what we found and make changes and whatever it is you guys would like to do. But it's a pretty transparent program. when it comes to that.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you again review the type of equipment that is available for rental through this program?
Yes. Hold on. Yes.
Josh, we just lost your audio, bud.
Sorry, that was my fault. I hit the wrong
Yeah,
button.
there you go. Nope, that's good.
Yeah. So we'll start with general rentals. That's our earth moving stuff. It's backhoes, bulldozers, things, graders, things of that nature. We have man lifts available through there, electric, gas, dual fuel, all sizes you could think of. Scissor lifts are done through our general rental side. Any sort of landscaping equipment, golf carts, stuff of that nature. That would all be done through there. Um, then we also have a truck division. So pretty much any size truck, van, utility truck, all of that's through there. We have power, so all generator sizes. We also have, like I said, heating and cooling, temporary heating and cooling, so climate control, flooring solutions for cleaning floors, trying to think fluid solutions. So that would be sewer bypasses, Baker tanks, things like that for more wastewater and water side. And then trench safety would be probably the last one that you guys would use quite a bit of. The rest of it, I think you would more deem as a service, like equipment repair or total control and stuff like that.
Okay, if folks have questions, you can continue to put them in, and we'll try to answer them as we go through the webinar here. Kathy, another one here. Given the guidance that's come out from the state controller, what should counties be aware of when using these national cooperative type of RFPs or bids?
Thanks, Steve. Given the guidance from the state of New York, I think that county should be aware of a couple of things. One, for general purchases and the rental, particularly this contract, pretty much anything you would be able to utilize it. I think you should be careful if you're considering using a cooperative contract for public works projects, not for renting equipment for a job site that you're conducting doing a public works project yourself, but for an example would be the KONE contract. If you were going to consider utilizing that for new construction or for renovation, I would advise you to consult with your procurement office and your council to ensure that you can utilize it in that way.
How can smaller counties with limited procurement staff effectively leverage this program without overextending their time, resources, and lack of knowledge?
I think this is the perfect program for small jurisdictions because the contracts have been competitively bid, are set up, and the pricing is available to every county of any size, any jurisdiction of any size. So it's easy access. Contact the supplier or the Public Promise Procurement team, and we will help you, walk you right through that process. It's as easy as placing an order against the lead public agency's contract, if that's if that's something you can do in your county, or establishing a contract based on that lead public agency's contract, and we can walk you through that. It's pretty easy.
Is there any fees for participating in the Public Promise Procurement Program? Are there any costs to the counties?
There are no costs to the county to participate in the program.
Okay, that looks like the number of questions that I see here on the screen. I guess the last question maybe I'll pose to Josh is: have you seen some interesting requests come in from either within New York or outside New York for rentals? Any interesting things that folks wouldn't think of rental equipment being available that you think might be of interest to our listeners today?
Well, I'll say that the thing that kind of fascinated me the most, and it took me by surprise, I don't know if I'm getting old or what the deal is, but when COVID hit, that actually, the the COVID testing facilities that were all over the place that were springing up, everything was available through us. So, I mean, it really put a strain on our company for getting, office buildings, generators, but it really allowed us to grow in a time when, not a lot of people were growing and we were all afraid of what was going to happen. So I'm going to say, as far as a recent effort that was pretty crazy, that was pretty wild, putting that whole thing
Okay.
together.
Okay, I want to thank you, Josh. Kathy or Anthony, any closing comments?
Just thank you so much to everyone for having us this afternoon.
Same here,
How-
Steve. Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Okay, how can folks access this information, Kathy? Have we made that clear?
Yes, well, we showed the website, but let me say it again. It's www.publicpromiseprocurement.org. Everything you need to know is right there on that website, and easy as pie to register. Just click that register button.
Let me thank everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Jeanette Stanziano. We had a question here just at the very end to will the webinar recording and slide deck be shared? I'll defer to Jeanette. If you're on, Jeanette, are we recording this and will it be shared? Yes, this will be recorded and shared and posted on our website.
Excellent.
Okay, thanks, folks. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Take care now. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you, everybody.